Butterflies are a symbol of change. And spring is a time for change as the earth blooms back to life. It's a time for being outdoors, planting, and enjoying all that the season has to offer. We're going to show you some great places to visit, some open spaces and trails, plus learn about some urban agriculture on this edition of the new Connected Colorado. Hi, I'm Wendy Brockman. We're here at the Butterfly Pavilion in Westminster. We've made a change. Metro Voices is now Connected Colorado, and we're excited to continue to bring you the events and issues of our great state. We'll learn more about the Butterfly Pavilion as we go. First, some people say bigger is better. Obviously, that's not always true, especially not in Arvada, where they can boast the smallest National Wildlife Refuge in the country. And last year it celebrated its 20th anniversary. Tranquility and an abundance of wildlife fill the 72 acres known as Two Ponds National Wildlife Refuge. It's a place where people, too, can soak up nature and reflect upon the beauty of this little piece of land, comparatively untouched by modern human progress.
It exemplifies nature at its very best. Look at the green around us. Look at the trees around us. We can hear the birds while we're here. It's nature at its very best, and it's right in the middle of our city.
Located just south of 80th Avenue in Arvada, Two Ponds is the smallest urban wildlife refuge in the nation. And in 2012, it celebrated its 20th anniversary as a refuge.
History tells us that the refuge would not have come into being without grassroots citizen involvement.
The event gave local and national leaders a chance to rededicate the refuge. It gave hikers a chance to explore its trails.
So y'all ready?
And artists an opportunity to draw on its beauty for creative inspiration.
Over the 20 years, it's really blossomed into a wonderful wildlife habitat community for many people and wildlife alike.
But Two Ponds wasn't always slated to become a refuge. In 1990, a battle over the land's use divided many, when neighbors learned a developer planned to build homes and professional buildings here.
So that meant that one of the ponds was going to be completely filled in along 80th there. And the neighbors were concerned about this and came together first as citizens and then started involving other groups to prevent this from happening.
This plan is presented as a disaster.
It ensued in a 2-year battle with the developer, with city planning, and with the city council to arrive at making this the Two Ponds National Wildlife Refuge.
The grassroots effort drew national media attention.
It's not easy for citizens groups to beat entrenched political and financial interest, but it is possible.
Citizens formed the Two Ponds Preservation Foundation. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service got involved, and with time, victory was declared.
The right side won. I think, well, let's put it that way. The right side won because this beautiful place is here today, and it is such an important part of our community.
Funding to establish Two Ponds as a National Wildlife Refuge in 1992 came in part through the Emergency Wetlands Relief Act of 1986. Within a few years, additional land was added to the original 13 acres.
And thus we had the completion of Two Ponds, which right now is about 72 and a half acres of land, sitting right here in the middle of Arvada, that people hardly even know about, but it's a great place to come.
Today, it is managed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, but the Two Ponds Preservation Foundation, including founding members like Rich Feely, continues to play a huge role. The foundation fosters and funds educational opportunities and improvements to the refuge, such as providing money to build bridges over 2 canals, and provides countless volunteer hours. Councilmember Mark McGough, an avid hiker, enjoys 2 ponds as much as anyone and often leads groups along the trails.
I feel enriched after I'm here at the Wildlife Refuge. My day goes better. It makes me feel good. I noticed some of these trails have a gravel bed and others are just dirt.
Yeah,
What's the difference on
You bet.
these?
So if you notice some of these trails, the slope is rather steep. And so we want to make the Wildlife Refuge ADA accessible for individuals with impairments and wheelchairs. And so these gravel trails are switchbacks and are much less steep so that people of all abilities can come out here and enjoy the refuge.
What I really like to have people take from the experience with any of the hikes is to get an appreciation for being outdoors.
Guided or unguided, nature hikes provide more than a glimpse of wildlife. Panoramic views are breathtaking too.
Here's a tremendous view,
Yeah.
Flatirons, and then of course Long's Peak and Mount Meeker are socked in, you can't see them.
The terrain of the refuge covers 9 acres of wetlands, 63 acres of uplands, and now 3 ponds.
I see so many different kinds of plants. I see a lot of variety of animals. The last time I was here, we counted 18 species of birds. The time before it was 28 species of birds. The diversity here is just fabulous.
Deer and other critters, 120 species of songbirds, and plenty of aquatic wildlife call the refuge home. 2 Ponds' mission is to protect and enhance that urban wildlife, and also to provide environmental education.
We reach over 15,000 people a year and over 2,000 kids through environmental education programs, hiking tours, and nature program activities.
Plenty of big accomplishments in just 20 years. And plans for more in the future, as the nation's smallest urban wildlife refuge continues to inspire its visitors. We're back at the Butterfly Pavilion, and joining me now is Amber Partridge and my new buddy here. How's he doing?
He's doing good. He likes
He's
you.
chilling in
Yeah,
my hair.
Exactly.
For people who haven't been to the Butterfly Pavilion, what is this place? Why should people come see it?
So the Butterfly Pavilion is an invertebrate zoo focused on conservation of invertebrates and their habitats around the world.
So invertebrates are butterflies.
Butterflies, sea stars, spiders, any animal without a backbone is an
Okay.
invertebrate.
All right. How many different types of butterflies do you have here?
We have up to 200 different species of butterflies, and at any given time we have about 1,500 butterflies flying around the pavilion.
Wow. Do new butterflies emerge?
So yes, we're constantly having new butterflies emerge every day. We get our butterflies in from butterfly farms found all over the world. They ship in their chrysalis form, so they fly here, but on an airplane, not by themselves. And then we actually pin them up in our emergence chamber. And then once the butterfly emerges from its chrysalis, we actually release it into the rainforest.
So what other kinds of exhibits do you have here?
So the other exhibits we have the Crawloceuum, which is focused on terrestrial invertebrates. We have our marine invertebrate, which is called Water's Edge. So lobsters, sea stars, the things that people don't get to see in Colorado.
Right.
And then we have an area called Tropical Odyssey, which is our learning through play exhibit.
Kids love this place.
Yes.
I bet their parents love it too.
Yeah, it's a really great time for people to come and kind of test their limits and learn new things. It's really great when people hold Rosie for the first time and they're terrified of her at first, and then the next minute they're saying that she's the cutest thing they've ever seen.
This place is fascinating. Thank you so much for having us here, Amber.
Well, thank you for coming out and visiting.
You bet. Well, spring has sprung and the growing season is here. Urban agriculture can be a big key in helping solve some of our environmental problems, even some of our economic problems, as families can provide their own fresh produce.
The city of Wheat Ridge has a rich farming history going back to the early 1800s. The Wheat Ridge High School mascot is the farmers, so obviously Wheat Ridge has a rich farming history that we'd like to continue in this day and age in 2011. The goal of urban agriculture is to encourage people to grow their food at their own property and to possibly sell it if they want to, participate in farmers markets, and to create that sustainability within the community that people can actually help feed themselves. Anything you could do to save money and grow your own food is a great way to sustain your community.
In Wheat Ridge, urban agriculture is important because it is a great part of our heritage. Wheat Ridge was a farming community who supplied all the food to the goldfields and to area restaurants and shops for quite a long time. It's also important too, in this day and age of increased sustainability, to have locally grown food that's fresh, that's healthy. It also gets you out in the yard, gets you exercise. When you're out working in the garden, you meet your neighbors. It just really is beneficial in so many different ways.
So obviously Wheat Ridge has a fantastic agricultural background, and what's really exciting about what we've done right now is the beginning of creating a community-based infrastructure to allow for the production and delivery of local food, high-quality food.
We've been working on a few different ordinance changes specifically to our zoning code to make it more friendly to a variety of different urban agriculture, urban farming types of land uses, ranging from farmers markets to produce stands to community gardens.
We already have really flexible zoning code regulations when it comes to keeping animals on your property or even being able to grow and sell produce from your home. However, our zoning code was really lacking when it came to some larger uses such as a community garden or a farmer's market. These uses really just weren't addressed in the code at all. So what the city started doing about a year ago was researching different ways to regulate those kinds of uses so that we can really encourage them in the city and make it clear where they are allowed. The result is that we have a pretty comprehensive ordinance that addresses a category we call urban gardens, and that would include community gardens as well as some more smaller scale farming type activities where you might have what you call community supported agriculture, where a group of people grow produce that then residents can buy shares of and have access to that food that's been grown right here in Wheat Ridge.
We took a hard look at ways that we could improve our zoning code to make sure that we're being supportive of urban farming and really want to be on the leading edge in Colorado of allowing a variety of urban farming activities.
Farmers markets, produce stands, and urban gardens will be allowed in all of the zone districts in the city.
The city has had for many years a very successful community garden called Happiness Gardens.
When I first started gardening, there was a club called the Wheat Ridge Men's Garden Club. I've lived here for 38 years and I gardened in this spot here, various places over here, various plots for about 25 years. I enjoy gardening here because you can produce an awful lot of produce, more than you can eat really on a little plot like this.
There's so many nice people up here and we share ideas, and I can't get enough of looking at everything and seeing it change from week to week. Sometimes I'll be up here and I won't even be able to work on the garden because someone will call me and say, oh, come look at this. It's just fun, and then once things start coming in, you have to come up almost every day to check on your harvest, and that's when it really gets fun.
There are also a lot of people who garden here that don't have a yard. They live in condos or townhouses or apartments, and they don't have any opportunity besides a pot on their front porch.
For the community, I know for me personally, I don't have a plot this big and I don't have the sun in my yard. So for me, gosh, it's just great. This is sun all day.
It's very, very enjoyable to come up here, not only for the products you're producing, but just sit down and talk to the people. That's what I enjoy most. We've had a lot of cooperation up here. Everybody is always willing to help anyone.
There's certainly a local movement to consume what grows nearby. And so this is another way that we as individuals can keep the local movement going.
As Councilmember Mike Stites always says, find it and buy it in Wheat Ridge. Within the next year or two, our goal is to see people buying fresh fruits and vegetables within the city of Wheat Ridge at farmers markets, produce stands, and urban gardens.
Certainly engaging individuals in our community in agriculture, getting outdoors, working, and being connected to our food sources is extremely valuable. Growing local food obviously allows it to be a high quality food source, oftentimes organic and obviously fresh. In a big way, what the city is doing right now is going to provide for an economic infrastructure to be built up around this as well that will help local citizens exercise some of their entrepreneurial energies into agriculture.
I think it's a really exciting time to be in a community where we're kind of in equal parts working on two very different fronts. On the one hand, we're trying to embrace our really strategic urban location and densify some of our urban corridors, and at the same time embracing our rural past and working to make sure that we can retain agricultural uses within the city.
There's so much change out here that we have seen. There's just so much different now than it used to be. And I think it's just as good now, if not better, than it's ever been.
The thrill of seeing something grow, that's what I love the best. Just about everything you see here I started from seed. To see that life grow from a hard shell that's been just sitting there dormant for who knows how long. You tended it, you nurtured it, and now you've got all of this great stuff that you bring to the kitchen and cook with.
Colorado is not known for its starfish, except maybe here at the Butterfly Pavilion. But Colorado is known for its outdoor lifestyle, including bike riding. Did you know there are dozens of places to ride your bike just in Lakewood? We'll show you some of the popular and not so well-known places to push your pedals this spring and summer.
Colorado is known for its outdoor activities, including bike riding, but you don't have to head up to the mountains to enjoy it. You can push your pedals through miles and miles of bike trails right here in Lakewood. And the best part is, there's something for everyone, whether you're taking the family out for a scenic ride or hitting the single track with your friends. Today I'll show you some of the more popular trails around town and introduce you to some that you might not have even known were there. Before you go on any bike ride, whether it's 1 mile or 100 miles, there's a few safety things you need to know. First, always wear a helmet. Even the most experienced bike riders wear them because out on the trail, you never know what's going to happen. Second, you want to make sure to take along some water, whether in a water bottle or a hydration pack like this. Riding is a good workout and you want to keep hydrated, especially on a hot day.
Also, if it's been a while since you took your bike out of the garage, give it a quick checkup. Make sure the tires have air, the chain is greased, and the brakes work.
Now you're ready to hit the trails. Let's start here in Bear Creek Lake Park, just off of C470 and Morrison Road. Bear Creek Lake Park has 20 miles of mixed use and paved trails. Let's take a look at them firsthand.
Since many of the trails are mixed use, it's good rider etiquette to follow trail rules and signage.
Really fun, low traffic, very safe. Everybody's really friendly, and there's a ton of stuff to ride. We just really wanted to get out and get some road biking in with our daughter. She's new, and we need a safe place with some fun loops that you can put down and have a good view, and it's close to the house.
Yeah, there's something for, I guess, a lot of varied styles of riding. They got with the paved trails and the single track, and there's not a whole lot of technical stuff, which is the scary part for most people, so it's really a welcoming trail. So far, it's been a real good visit. Weather's been great, and the trails are in good condition.
No matter which trail you choose here at Bear Creek Lake Park, chances are you'll see some wildlife, have some fun, and get your heart pumping. Best part is there's no park entrance fee if you ride your bike. Of course, most everyone knows about Bear Creek Lake Park, but did you know that there's some great places to ride your bike right in the heart of Lakewood? Follow me.
Lakewood has dozens of parks that are perfect for bike rides, including Kendrick Lake Park near Garrison and Jewell, Addenbrook Park, and don't forget Belmar Park, home to Lakewood's Heritage Center. Here, you can take a ride past the amphitheater, and then take a break to take in some Lakewood history. The Bear Creek Greenbelt is another popular bike riding destination in Lakewood. Located in the south end of town just east of Bear Creek Lake Park, the Greenbelt is home to 340 acres of wilderness and wildlife, as well as the historic Stone House.
You know, it's a good idea to take a break every once in a while and hydrate when you're out riding. If you're looking for something a little more challenging, let's switch gears and head over to a popular mountain bike area, William F. Hayden Park on Green Mountain.
With more than 2,400 acres of open space and 12 miles of bike trails, William F. Hayden Park on Green Mountain is the second largest park in Lakewood.
The bike trails here on Green Mountain are almost exclusively single track, which means they're narrower and a bit more technical due to the dirt, rocks, and tree limbs that pop up from time to time. So if you're going to ride these trails, you're going to need a bike with fatter, knobby tires.
This is about as close to full-on mountain biking as you can get without leaving Lakewood.
This will really get your heart pumping.
Coming up the mountain is great for intermediate, not too technical, but it'll burn your lungs. I like the terrain up here on Green Mountain. I like being able to see everywhere. Trails are great condition.
Once you've made the climb to the summit of Green Mountain, you're rewarded with stunning views of Lakewood and Denver to the east and the peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the west. And then it's all downhill from here.
So as you've seen today, no matter where you live in Lakewood, chances are good that there's a bike riding opportunity close by. Head on over to lakewood.org/maps to get a complete list of bike paths in town. Now hop on that bike, we'll see you on the trails.
Well, earlier we told you there were more than just butterflies at the Butterfly Pavilion. Lois, the zookeeper, is here to introduce us to Rosie. We mentioned her earlier. Tell me about Rosie.
Okay, well, Rosie is a Chilean rose-hair tarantula.
Okay.
She would not be living here in the United States. She would be from Chile, South America.
Okay, now
And
I've
I'd
agreed
like
to
for
do this because I
you
trust you.
To experience what it
boy.
feels like to have one of these gentle creatures on your hand.
Wow, she really is gentle.
Yeah.
She's very soft.
Now, she does have 8 eyes located right up here on the top, which you can see. They're kind of in a cluster. However, all she sees is shadows. And she also has no ears. So when I put my hand up in front of her, she sees a shadow, and that's what should make her stop. She gets all of her information through her feet. That would be taste, smell, and vibration. And so she's not gonna give you any problems. So getting her back, did you notice I just touched her back foot, and back she comes. And she did it.
She is amazing. Lois,
Yes.
thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
I touched Rosie.
You did,
I get a
and you
sticker.
get now bragging rights.
Yep. I held
There
Rosie.
you go.
Thank you. We've shown you butterflies. We touched a tarantula. Now we're going to touch a sea star. Give it a little pet. We've also shown you some agriculture and some of the great outdoors. Now let's take a look at an historic farm that has been turned into a natural area for everyone to enjoy. It opened to the public recently on a cold day. It's Metzger Farm Open Space.
We are celebrating 10 years worth of work to open Metzger Farm Open Space to the public. Today's celebrating the opening of the trails, the fishing dock, the wildlife viewing dock. Even though it's a crazy day as far as weather, it's been a really fun get-together.
Back in 2005, both communities came together to create the Broomfield Westminster Open Space Foundation, and that is co-owned by City and County of Broomfield and the City of Westminster. And the foundation purchased the Metzger Farm property in 2006 and co-manages it.
The other unique part that you watch, as Mayor Nancy would attest to this, so the City Council member, is how well staffs work together across communities. You know, I've seen it work on US 36. You know, the cooperation is unbelievable. And on this one, I watched it firsthand too. So thank you very much from the staffs of Westminster and Broomfield.
Really, the idea for purchasing this open space started back in 2002 with Westminster's Open Space Committee and Broomfield's Open Space Committee. We had a joint meeting. Both groups brought this site up as something that we should try to purchase together jointly. Great Outdoors Colorado gave us a $500,000 grant for the property, and Adams County Open Space contributed over $1.5 million to the purchase price.
Well, one of the things that truly makes Broomfield unique is the fact that we have a 40% open lands goal, and that goal is achieved by buying open space in Broomfield and including buying joint acquisitions like we've done here. This helps us achieve the goal of having a lot of open space or trails for Broomfield and its community. It can be a Walmart, it could be a Whole Foods store. It's not. It is open space. And I also want to particularly thank the Metzger family, you know, for their efforts they put here. They gave some wonderful stories. I'm sure they'll share some this afternoon with us about growing up on the Metzger farm and what it meant.
We look forward eagerly to the continued fulfillment of the preservation. Welcome everyone, come back often, and it's a great day. Thank you.
John Metzger, a former Colorado Attorney General, purchased this property in 1943, and it functioned as a working farm through the 1950s. The City of Westminster would like to thank the Metzger family and the City and County of Broomfield for your collaboration. We are so excited that this day finally came.
It is an incredible area. It's 152 acres of open space. We have a farmstead here. We have 2 ponds. One is more of a wetland pond. The other is an open water pond with a fishing dock. What I love best about Metzger is that it really blends history with nature in such a wonderful way. And I think for particularly young kids in our cities these days, they don't get this experience that often to see this kind of a landscape. So I think it's a very special property for both communities.
You know, to have this open space with a, fishing pond here and hiking and bike riding and gathering place for picnics and a place to learn about history and learn about farming, it's a tremendous resource for both communities that we'll enjoy for decades to come.
With its lakes and trees and open fields and wildlife, the natural beauty of the place is clearly evident, and I have no doubt that natural resources experts view it as a place of remarkable ecological diversity and abundance.
It's really exciting for the community, for the City of Westminster and City and County of Broomfield, but also the Denver metropolitan area. I think that it's going to be a draw for folks to come up here. There's not many farms left in this area, and with the over 2 miles of trails that people can enjoy, it's really a wonderful recreation opportunity, passive recreation, wildlife viewing. We've got beautiful hawk nests and great blue herons that nest here throughout the spring and summer. So it's a wonderful opportunity to come out and enjoy the wildlife.
You know, I think our citizens really enjoy having the open space in our community that's very accessible. It allows them to get away, take a breath of fresh air, look at nature, get some exercise. All those things are really important, I think, to all of us with our busy lives now in the modern day world.
It's pretty amazing. It's snowing today. It's got to be 32 degrees, and the fact that we had probably 100 people here today speaks a lot about both Westminster and Broomfield and the hardy souls we have here, but it also shows how important of an event this is. 2 communities deciding to buy open space and build trails together is a pretty big deal.
It really does show that you can establish a wonderful relationship with neighboring communities to accomplish something that's worth accomplishing for both organizations.
I love this place. It really has been kind of a labor of love for both communities and both staffs and councils. And for me, it is an incredible experience to see people out here enjoying this site. It was a good day for open space and trails.
We hope you've enjoyed learning about some of our great open spaces and the very cool Butterfly Pavilion. June 1st, by the way, is National Trails Day, the country's largest celebration of trails, so get out and enjoy yourself. We'll see you next time on Connected Colorado.